Good day, everyone. I am Rachel Charmaine P. Andelove. My report is Principle of Stewardship. Stewardship refers to the expression of one's responsibility to take care of, nurture, and cultivate what has been entrusted to him. We are responsible to manage something entrusted to us. For example, someone gave you a plant and this plant to be able grow and live forever. We are responsible to taking good care of it. Stewardship requires us to appreciate two great gifts that has wise and loving God has given. The earth with all its natural resources and our own human nature with its biological, physiological, and social and spiritual capacities. The principle is grounded in the presupposition that God has absolute dominion over creation, and that is so far a human being are made in God's image and likeness. We have been given a limited dominion over creation and responsible for its care. Dominion is the rule over nature. We are God's representative. It gave us the authority to use the world's natural resources and own benefits. Stewardship is responsible to manage of our God's given resources of time, talent, and treasure and the relationship with God. Healthcare practice. Stewardship refers to execution of responsibility of the healthcare practitioners to look after, provide the health and life of those entrusted to their care. We are responsible to take good care of our patient and the best service as a part of their treatment because we are the one that in charge to take good care of them. Stewardship is a concept that offers nurse leaders critical insights into how they can assist nurses to shift their epistemology of practice, integrating a form of practical reasoning that is virtue based and hence extend their practice of bearing witness. So, stewardship is gahatag of wider view for a nurse leader to help in the new field of nurse can acquire better understanding sa nurse field. Because there are certain values and virtues that follow sa field of nursing. The stewardship can help to ensure the values and makahatag og better knowledge about different things related of the nursing field. Bale, hunahunaon, ang stewardship is a branch of knowledge acquisition na very important dili lang sa field of nursing but also sa other fields. The metaphor of steward. In the 11th century, the English word steward developed from a stigward, meaning warden of a house. Welchman assert the stewardship is the role individuals adopt towards some others. She also stresses that to be a steward is to devote and substation, substantial to devote and substantial percentage of one's thoughts and efforts to maintain or enhancing the condition of some things, person, and not primarily for one's own sake. She suggests the steward of motivate to act as the developed character disposition including self-discipline and courage. So, metaphor steward is emphasizes that who is strictly imposed that what is the best and once it was imposed to should also be preserved. Hmm. Nursing so nurse leaders as stewards. As are practicing nurses who seek to preserve and promote values at the point of service may influence managers in their decision about all to receive that service and how and thus influence change in a healthcare organization. Nurse leaders should engage others to work collaboratively to achieve the vision and purpose that will affect the well-being of. So, leaders are oriented to self and oriented to organization or system. Nurses that establish healthcare environment to promote value-based nursing practice by recognizing that who one's is moral character is essential to the leadership. Nurse leaders should be in a good quality. Stewardship of self. To meet dominion of stewardship in health care and the profession, it is a crucial that nurse leaders engage with the development of self. Succession planning to develop and nurture a new generation of transformational nurse leader may be only way to achieve this. To meet the concept of lifelong learning, nurse leaders or stewards will need to use the mentors and personal coaches to assist them in refining skills and improving competencies. Nurse leaders steward will thus become visible and social and sound role models with their institution to maintain the balance between self and professional fulfillment. So, the nurse should take different challenges to refine their skills in order to in order to provide the needs of the patient. And skillful nurse can be successful to role model and balance professional fulfillment of without the problem that may occur to their self. Nurses are used also consider leaders. They are the one who facilitate the healthcare management. So next is the role of nurse as stewards. So first is a personal virtue ethics and stewardship. So according to McIntyre, a communitarian theorist, it contends that a person is a narrative self who seeks purpose or good for the self-taught interpretation of everyday experience. Virtues are essential because they affect perceptual judge about what is relevant in an experience. A virtue is defined as a quality which enables an individual to move towards and achieve of a specific human goal. Character is identified to cultivate as a virtue are habitually exercised. In cultivating a character, a person acts without knowing an exact outcome of his of her action, rather of he or she acts in the belief that the action will be worthwhile. So character affect the preservation of promotes of what is intrinsically valuable in one's experience, owing to perceptual judgment. When we say with virtue ethics in a stewardship of being nurse, this is focuses on a nurse what he that he or she is learning not only in a practice is school. The skills are nurtured through experience of nurse, but if you didn't understand, it is still useless. So second is a social rule of nurse as stewards. Nurses advocate for the health promotion, educate patients in public in the prevention of illness and injury, provide care and assist in the cure, participate in rehabilitation, and provide support. No other healthcare professional has such broad and far-reaching rule. So nurses help families learn to become healthy by helping them understand the range of emotional, physical, mental, and cultural experiences. So they encounter during health and illnesses. So nurses help people and their families cope their illness, deal with and if necessary live with it so that the parts of lives will continue. So nurses do more the care for individuals. They have always have been in the forefront of change in healthcare public health. So the nurse is not only a person in the hospital, it is a health practitioner that can reach out the community that also to help the two people. So third is the ecological rules of nurses in the stewardship. So the nursing position tackle the challenges of waste reduction without hospital system. A healthcare sectors generate a massive amount of waste contributing in the environmental issues such as air and water pollution. But by amplifying and engaging staff through shared governance models, nurses can reduce the overhead costs associated with the waste management. So the nurse have the ability to use the trusted skills sets and lead the way for sustainable, healthy communities environment in which they serve. Nurses comprises the largest profession in healthcare and are adept in educating, researching, and leading in waste reduction. So, nurses can do a lot of role, and that includes the waste. So, we will not give them a drugs or monitor to them. We also tayo ay naghihingayat ay naghihikayat sa mga tao that can be proper way that can be learning to dispose their waste in a proper. So, for the last is biomedical rule of nurses in stewardship. Withholding nutrition can constitute nursing neglect and expose the nurse to criminal charges in neglect of conspiracy to commit suicide. So, the nurse is dealing lives in if one wrong move, it may can cause certain problem. In a reason, nurses encountered criminal charges due to not improper treatment. So that's all. Okay, thank you for listening.